Hello folks, I'm here with Leif Jurgenson, owner and player for the Seattle Scorpions. Leif, how do you feel to be on the show today?
I feel amazing. Yeah, great flight, no layover. I feel awesome.
It's very nice. So you didn't take the private jet here today?
The studio, being in Seattle, all I had to do was walk to the studio.
Alright, so, Danny Rickert, he's on your team. How do you feel about getting him?
Oh, I feel amazing. I think that he can do everything. He can hit, he can pitch. You name it, he can do it debatably even better than Muff.
You named Matt Yandow your team captain. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that Matt Yandow is probably going to be the comeback player of the year. Even better than my comeback last year. Me having a staph infection in my right femur, amounting to nothing, to Matt Yandow having a stroke, coming back. He's been walking, he's been talking. I checked in with him the other day. Hope the Yandow's out. I feel like he's got that attitude. He's a dominant player. He shows it with his attitude. He also shows it with his performance. So I think that he really fits in with the components I really need for a captain.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. How do you think that, obviously, great pitching season for you last year. How do you think that translates into the next season, and how's the pitching rotation going to look for you?
Well, I see Danny Rickert definitely being my endurance pitcher. I find myself to usually burn out really fast. I think Danny is definitely going to start for me. I don't think Matt is going to see too many innings on the mound. I think I'm probably going to relieve and close for my team.
All right. Really, how much are you planning on using Danny? Is he just going to pitch most of the games? Are you going to pitch every game for an inning or two? What's that looking like?
I believe I see Danny going 2 innings. Me pitching the last one. I don't think that I don't want to burn out Danny's arm, but I think with the weight of a tennis ball, I think he can handle 2 innings. And I think that knowing how skilled he is, I think he can make quick work of those 2 innings. So I don't see it being too much of a bother for him pitching most of the game and most of the games.
Do you think you'll win the first ever Reliever of the Year award?
Well, I don't really see myself as really a pitcher, but I feel like Matt is a good player, and I really respect him. As you know, he's my captain. I feel as though I have no other decision than to name myself reliever. Ulrich Meyer, he's not really good at relieving. I don't think he doesn't have the endurance to be a starter, and I don't think that he has the clutch to be a closer or a reliever.
All right, so thank you for your thoughts on your pitching. Really, what's your lineup going to be looking like going into opening day?
Well, I see our lineup most likely starting out with me as our contact hitter. Not that I would name myself best at contact, but I see players like Matt Yandow and Danny Rickert being further up in the batting order, as in our power hitters. So I see, as of now, with my roster, me, then Mr. Yandow, and then Mr. Rickert, and it's debatable. I don't really see myself having Ulrich on the roster by season come. But if it were now, he would be cleanup at 4th.
So, if you're planning on putting Ulrich on reserve, you want to pick up a couple more players, who's really going to fill that 4th roster spot for you?
Well, undetermined as of now. I think there's definitely that guy out there. There are some guys I could have talks with. right now I feel comfortable, just kind of sorting out some personal things. I have to set aside management. My mansion, there was a flood down in South Seattle because of too much rain, so my mansion's all flooded. I've just been really worried about that, so I haven't been really able to focus on management.
Mm. Have you heard about recent trade talks of Ethan Provost and Freddie Marshall?
Oh, yes. Yes, my good friend Sam Morse, he's been trying to acquire Muff, which, as my brother George said in an earlier interview, that he believes that Muff is going to be the real impact in this league, and that whatever team has Muff will win the entire thing. Unfortunately, Muff and I, we've never really been on good terms, never really been on bad terms. Haven't really talked to the guy too much since we were 9-year-olds. I think that he's really good, obviously. I think that Danny Rickert is the guy that I need. And I don't see myself really needing Muff, so I respect Sam Morse. He needs Muff. Trading away Freddie Marshall and Ethan Provost. Obviously, Ethan Provost being a big impact on his team. He's got the wheels. He can do really well all around both sides of the field. But we all know Muff's skill, and I feel like that's a respectable trade.
I'd really like to ask you, surrounding your team, pitching, hitting, what do you think that you really need to improve on the most?
Well, I have a feeling I feel pretty secure with my power. Myself. My hitting stats have dropped, obviously, but adding Danny Rickert, adding Matt Yandel, hey, they've got a lot of power, and I personally have been working on baseball myself with a good friend, Tim Albertson. He's a really good trainer for people in the BBL. So I see power not being a real difficulty for my team. I don't see contact being too much of a difficulty for my team, but I see it there a little bit. I'm definitely going to need some contact. Pitching, I feel with myself as reliever closer that I may need some pitching because I'm not the best at pitching, but with such an outstanding year compared to my other years, I feel like the only direction I can go is better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the only thing impacting my team is that last roster spot. Ulrich Meyer, he's really bad at everything, regardless of the 4 years of rugby under his belt, which could make you good. I think that, being a 9-year-old that Ulrich is, all these guys are older than him, and that's why he is bad.
Mm-hmm. I'd really like to ask you, who do you think is the most well-rounded roster right now?
Most well-rounded roster. I want to say the Las Vegas Lightning. I want to say they've got the ace, Sam Morse. They've got a really nice closer, Jackson Conowitz. Jackson Conowitz is a big guy. He's got a really big butt behind him. I think that he can hit lots of home runs. Sam Morse. Against me, he hit lots of home runs. Against Kieran, we saw a mercy rule, left-handed. That was an absolutely outstanding performance hitting. And, Sam Morse, he is a really good contact hitter with the field length and the bats and the tennis balls. He can do well. I think Riley Kloss is a really good leadoff hitter. He's pretty good at fielding. I think there's nothing that the Vegas Lightning does not have. I'm not saying that they're the best at everything, but I'm saying there's nothing that they don't have.
I think I'd like to ask you one last question. Obviously, tons of phenomenal players have been added to the league. Where do the base three players, Sam Morse, Kieran Jurgenson, and yourself, how do you think they will perform?
I think, obviously, Sam Morse being the top dog, even back in the Birmingham Bombers days. I mean, you and I were probably... I was a fan of the Birmingham Bombers as a child. 5 years old. My grandfather used to say, hey, if you don't like the Birmingham Bombers, then you're doing something wrong. So, Sam Morse being so good since those days, I think that he'll do very well. He's got lots of experience in this league. He's a veteran. Kieran Jurgenson, he's younger than everybody. So, other than Ulrich Meyer, who could not play BBL other than the minor leagues, as a 9-year-old, Kieran is the youngest one. And that could affect his play. Myself, I don't want to seem too cocky. I don't want to seem like I'm underestimating myself. So I'm going to put nothing out there for my predictions of myself. I see myself only performing better than I did, even if it doesn't show up on the stats. I believe in myself. I believe in my teammates for good support. Matt Yandow, really good captain. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, thank you for your input. Good luck in
Thank
finding
you.
that fourth guy. I'm sure a lot of fans were happy to have you on the show.
Alrighty, thank you.
Have a nice flight home. Thank you.